Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Bella here. In today's video, I want to talk about the yardsticks against which we can measure how well we speak English, and more specifically, if you have reached the intermediate level. If you are interested, please keep watching. If you find the content helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss a video with me. Without further ado, let's get started. Many of us have been learning and trying to improve our English for years, but there is one question that has never been answered. That is, where are we really at with our English? Or in other words, how well can we really speak English? What are the yardsticks that we can measure that against? From my personal learning and teaching experience, I think there are a few things that we can consider to help us answer that question. And it is helpful to know the answer because it will help us identify our current priority and needs. When we have access to so many different resources, we need to know which ones to select to avoid wasting our time and energy. For intermediate level language users, their spoken English usually shares the following few characteristics that separate them from the rest of the crowd. First is their rhythm of speech. Intermediate language users usually have a good sense of how to pace themselves when speaking English, as well as a good grasp of the English pronunciation. Their overall fluency is pretty good, and there is little confusion over the way they pronounce most words. They're able to express themselves in chunks of words instead of spitting out one word at a time. It's usually easy to identify the rising and falling tone in their speech and notice where pauses and stresses are placed. They may run into unexpected pauses as they are sorting out the proper word choices in their head, especially when discussing the more complicated or difficult subjects. But in general, they're able to keep at an even pace in daily conversations without having to stop abruptly or repeat themselves all the time. Another criterion for measuring your spoken English is the expression usage. At the intermediate level, you should be able to select words and phrases that can roughly deliver what you mean in most cases. There may be confusion over contextual or cultural differences, which may cause some trouble in delivering the exact emotions or feelings towards the subject. Nonetheless, your listener should have little trouble understanding your opinions and your views. Your choice of words and expressions should fall under the commonly used category. But there seems to be a misunderstanding over what is considered good expression, so I want to take some time and go over that here as well. My personal understanding is that good expressions are not those complicated long words and phrases that English speakers would not use day to day. Neither are they limited to English idioms. I think this is where a lot of us get confused or misled in some cases. Idioms will help us express certain ideas in authentic ways, but they are not the be-alls and end-alls of spoken English. Quite to the contrary, they're at the most icing on the cake. You don't need to know a lot of English idioms to be able to speak English well. And if you only focus on learning those idioms, you would most certainly not progress as much as you would like to. Have you noticed that when you listen to a native speaker, you understand every word he or she is saying, but you just cannot express yourself using those same expressions or structures? Those expressions and structures contain the vocabulary you use every single day, but are used in ways you're not aware of. Those are the ones you need to learn and practice. You might be surprised to learn that 80% of the things we say can be accurately expressed with 20% of our vocabulary. Practicing that 20% is what is going to help you take that huge step forward in your English learning. Another thing that we can look at when deciding where we are with our spoken English is the idea organization. English is not limited to conversations. A lot of times we need to express our views on a particular topic, compare advantages and disadvantages, describe a person or an object, or simply recount a recent experience. Intermediate language users usually have little difficulty talking about their ideas and opinions while following a basic structure. It's possible that some ideas might not be delivered in the most direct and concise manner, but listeners should have no trouble grasping the main points. At intermediate level, you have the basic understanding of using examples and are able to provide details for the main points you're trying to make. You have some understanding of how to organize your thoughts, and you're able to stick to your main idea most of the time. So the rhythm of speech, the expression usage, and the idea organization are the 3 yardsticks against which we can measure our spoken English. Having a clear view of where we are with our English will help us identify our priorities at the moment. Maybe you are already above the intermediate level by looking at these criteria. If that's the case, please stay tuned. I will continue in my future video to talk about how we can identify advanced language users. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video today. Please feel free to leave your questions or suggestions in the comment area down below. Until next time, take care.